You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic.
Could this player be a trade asset for the Chicago Bears? Kevin Fishbain of The Athletic sure thinks so. Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Bears fans, make sure you also do me a huge favor, also hitting the like button on today's episode of Keek on the Mic. So, Bears fans, the Chicago Bears are definitely not done shuffling their roster. It's more than likely that general manager Ryan Poles has a few more moves up his sleeves. We all know that Ryan Poles definitely loves to work at night. So we do know that the outcome is going to be that he is going to add a few more players either before training camp or definitely during training camp as well. And really much depends on how training camp unfolds with several battles across the roster heading into Chicago Bears training camp. So it's more than likely that Ryan Poles will look to add at least two more prominent players at positions of need like center or the edge rusher position. There is also one other possibility to look at, Bears fans, that can't be ruled out. Ryan Poles can actually look to unfold one of his current players as well for draft capital next year. And one name that really stands out on the Chicago Bears roster currently is tackle Larry Borom. Sometimes when you look at a guy like Larry Borom, Bears fans, he is kind of like the forgotten man on this offensive line. Despite his regular presence on the field over the past 3 years for the Chicago Bears, both as a starter and backup for this offensive line, Borom really has been a reliable swing tackle for the Chicago Bears, especially when injuries strike for this offensive line. And as we all know, as Bears fans, we have dealt with so many injuries along this offensive line with Tevin Jenkins, Nate Davis, so on and so on. The 25-year-old Larry Borom has appeared in 39 games while starting 23 of those games for the Chicago Bears over his first 3 seasons in Chicago. So he's definitely, when you look at a guy like Larry Borom, he's definitely not the best tackle that we have on the roster, but he has definitely been really reliable for this offensive line, especially when injuries strike. However, some new circumstances could compromise his roster spot this season for the Chicago Bears. And Kevin Fishbain of The Athletic explains why. Check out what he had to say on Larry Borom, Bears fans. In the final year of his rookie contract, Borom earned the proven performance escalator for his playing time, which means he'll make more than $3 million this season. Though the Bears can certainly fit that contract under the cap, would they rather roll with Pryor, who has similar versatility and is making just north of $1 million, and Amegadjie as the backup tackles? It'll be one of the roster battles to watch this summer. Former Seattle Seahawk Jake Kiran will also be in the mix for a swing tackle spot. I don't know necessarily who is the best of those tackles, but Borom costs the most, which can hinder his chances to be a Bear if the others play well in July and August. Bears fans, Kevin Fishbain of The Athletic definitely brings up some interesting points in regard to Larry Borom. First and foremost, this is just kudos to how much competition that Ryan Poles has brought not only to the left tackle spot, but along the roster for the Chicago Bears. And when you look at the left tackle position, of course, you have Braxton Jones and Darnell Wright as a starter. You have third-round pick Kiran Amegadjie. You also have Terrell Pryor. And you also have Jake Kiran, which he has experience playing in the system under Shane Waldron. And then, of course, you have Larry Borom. And to me, when you look at all the people on the list, you can't really single out who is the best backup for the Chicago Bears in terms of the left tackle position. I think at this point, it comes down to money. When you look at the money aspect of it, Larry Borom is definitely making the most. And once again, Larry Borom's only going to be making $3 million in 2024. So the Bears can definitely fit that into their cap space. But when you have other guys on the roster making less than Larry Borom, and you're only going to be a backup for guys like Braxton Jones or Darnell Wright, the Chicago Bears could be compelled to trade a guy like Larry Borom. Once again, first and foremost, this to me is really not contract related in regard to Borom. Once again, he is set to make a little over $3 million in 2024. So the Bears can definitely afford that. To me, Bears fans, this has everything to do with more competition at the left tackle position. The assumption to me is that the 3rd round pick in the 2024 NFL draft, Kiran Amegadjie, will be the primary backup at both tackle positions behind Braxton Jones and Darnell Wright. That is already really bad news for a guy like Larry Borom. Just a reminder for all you Bears fans that the Chicago Bears only carried 1 extra tackle last season. So unless the Bears think Kiran Amegadjie can fill other positions as a backup or starter, which he can, he does have some experience playing the guard position, but he primarily plays on that tackle position. So I'm not sure if they're going to have Kiran Amegadjie play multiple positions. It isn't looking good for a guy like Larry Borom. And then Bears fans, you also have to take into account the other guys that are going to be competing during training camp to make the roster as a backup option at tackle for the Bears offensive line, and Jake Curran and Pryor as well. So the Bears can either keep an extra body, which is possible because Larry Borom does have versatility playing multiple positions. He can play the guard position, he can play the tackle position, and with the injuries that usually happen on the offensive line, with Tevin Jenkins unable to stay healthy, with Nate Davis unable to stay healthy, maybe Larry Borom comes out during training camp and absolutely shows that he is better than Pryor, that he is better than Kiran, right? Even that he is better than 3rd round rookie and Kiran Amegadjie, and he ends up making the roster as one of the backups for either guard or tackle for the Chicago Bears offensive line. If that's not the case, the Chicago Bears can look to unload that $3 million that Larry Borom will be making in 2024 and trade him away to an NFL team that may need his services. So considering the demand at tackle around the NFL, the Bears could unload Larry Borom for a 33 pick, and that means we would probably get a 6th round pick, or you can trade Larry Borom and a 6th round pick to maybe get a higher pick, which would probably be a 5th round pick in that case. But overall, Bears fans, I have nothing against Larry Borom. I'm definitely rooting for a guy like him. I definitely think he can surprise a lot of people during training camp this year and find himself making this 53-man roster for the Chicago Bears. But as always, it's definitely a business at the end of the day. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. We will definitely be keeping a close eye on this position battle for the tackle position once training camp opens up. But overall, Bears fans, before I let you guys go, let me ask you guys this. Do you guys think that the Chicago Bears should consider trading Larry Borom? Let me know down below in the comment section. But as always, Bears fans, make sure you continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Geek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, be back for all new Bears podcasts right here on Geek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and as always, bear down.
You've been listening to Geek on the Mic, a podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Thanks, guys, and bear down.